Good job today, man. It's one at a time, and we'll get the job done. Y'all know what to say. On three. 1, 2, 3.
And the home of the Jets.
Mr. Primetime.
Another wasted season. How you doing?
This giving me flashbacks of talking to Tyrone in his truck. The darkness, the shadows. What are we doing around here?
I mean, my quarterback told me I had to make peace with darkness. We clearly, as an organization, have not made peace with darkness. So I'm embracing darkness until something changes.
You two are the modern day Mike and the Mad Dog. I mean that sincerely. Well, thank you.
Appreciate that, Steven. Thank you, man.
I mean, let's start with that. First off, before we get started, thank you to everybody that's been joining our streams, commenting on our videos. It is not easy watching this unlikable team, watching endless losing and incompetence. And you guys are sticking with us, man. So we definitely appreciate it. It is not – these are games that nobody wants to watch at this point.
The stream, the chat, the jokes, that is literally all that has gotten us through the last 5 years of doing this. So thank you, guys. Much appreciated.
Yeah, the intro – Romeo did a great job with the intro, adding all the new pieces. But I think now we need to make a whole new intro where it's just all dysfunction. We got to change it up.
It's got to be in there.
It's got to. I mean, this team is just a disaster. Now we're talking about, it's what, November 18th. We're talking about draft picks, tanking, who's going to be the coach. But I want to start with one thing. And I was curious to see the reactions today because the defense was terrible, which is very easy to blame. They give 2 fourth-quarter touchdowns. Sauce Gardner's terrible. No pass rush, all this stuff. And then slowly but surely I hear Rodgers didn't play that bad. Rodgers, you know what? The Jets can win with Rodgers next year. Now, let's just reiterate that the New York Jets had they didn't get a first down till the 2-minute warning in the first half. Yes. Some of the worst football we've ever seen on offense ever. They had a 4-and-out. Like, dude, what are we talking about?
But they ultimately made their adjustments and they put up 27 points.
Bro,
the defense had 2 different opportunities against a second-year quarterback who was making his first start in a fucking month. And they gave up back-to-back touchdowns.
Aaron Rodgers is not part of any answer.
Hold on. You're more upset today with Aaron Rodgers than
No. I just find it interesting that people are now rallying around Aaron Rodgers. My thing is this. The defense is terrible. So is Aaron Rodgers. He can't move. Yeah. The first play of the game set the tone where he threw that errant pass. He's missing receivers, wide open receivers. He's making bad reads. He can't move. He's not a leader. He's part of the problem. But they're all part of the problem.
But he also didn't make the decision not to go for the 2-point conversion. He also didn't make the decision not to go for it on 4th down, which we saw at 4 o'clock against Buffalo, right? Buffalo and the Chiefs, 4th and 2. The exact
I'm not saying keep Ulbrich.
2-point lead. They go for it. They
what do you
put the
do?
hammer down on the Chiefs. The Jets, instead, they kick the field goal and put their defense back out there to blow it again.
So 45 seconds left. You have 45 seconds left to score a field goal. What does he do? He throws the ball backwards and takes a sack. Like, listen, I'm not saying anybody's good.
There's not one person in this organization that deserves praise right now. But if we're looking for blame for yesterday,
I'm not talking about blame.
Giving up back-to-back leads.
I'm not talking about blame.
Second-year quarterback.
I'm not talking about blame. The entire organization fucking blows. They all need to go. Stop with this goddamn narrative that Rodgers is playing good enough to come back next year. No, he's not. Like, do we have any standards anymore? We're so fucking desperate. You know what? Maybe he can go 12 of 15 and throw for 100 yards, and we can play great defense.
I'm not saying that Aaron Rodgers is the answer, but what's the alternative?
But dude, so that's the reason for bringing him back. The fear of the unknown is why you're bringing him back. I'd rather watch Tyrod Taylor, Jordan Travis, and some kid that's drafted next year compete for it than watch this miserable prick run this team again. Enough with the Aaron Rodgers experiment. It's done, dude. He's not a leader. The team does not believe in him, and he's not a winner either. He's proving it now. Like, you could have made an argument if this team had any balls. He should have benched you last week in the first half. He could have been. How many games this season were like, you know what, dude? He looks like he's disinterested. He doesn't even want to be here. With a young, impressionable team that are looking for him for leadership and guidance, he's wallowing in the fucking mud himself. He's not part of the answer next year. He's just not.
That's been the bigger disappointment more than anything else. Physical on the field. On the field, they've put up more touchdowns already than last year. But the body language. That's what I'm saying, though. The body language, the quotes after the game, the lack of leadership, a young team that's all looking up to him, and his body language, it's just not it. So, yeah, I mean, it's obviously a problem, but I just don't know what the alternative is for next year. Because this current environment, you cannot draft a quarterback in the first round and expect him to succeed here.
Well, here's the problem.
There's no way you can do that.
If you bring back, if Rodgers wants to come back, you right there have alienated half the coaches because nobody's want to come here. Nobody's going to want to come here and inherit Aaron Rodgers on the last year of his contract. Last year's going to play. Who wants that? Why bother? I'd rather, you know what? I'll take a team where I can either bring my own quarterback or I have a young quarterback in place that I believe in. Nobody believes in Rodgers. Who's going to want to inherit him?
What are the candidates anyway, though? Who are the candidates that actually want to come here, regardless of Aaron Rodgers, whether he's here or not here?
I make this job as desirable as possible. I tank out, I lose as much as possible, and I weed out all the shit. And I tell the next general manager, who hopefully is a competent person, you have full say. If you want Rodgers gone, Rodgers gone. If you want Sauce gone, Sauce is gone. That's what we do.
Figuring that out now, though, because I'm not trusting a first-year quarterback, a first-year head coach, first-year GM to be making these major decisions.
No, you need
somebody
legitimate.
Proven. If he wants to move on, go for it,
bro. You need legitimate guys that have been there, done that, and have won in the NFL. We saw it last night with Harbaugh. That's what you need. People make fun of Sean Payton. Sean Payton, he made fun of Hackett. Where's Sean Payton right now? He's winning games with Bo Nix.
And that's what sucks more than anything is that Woody Johnson thought about making the firing last year. He missed his opportunity. Even the year before, when it was Sean Payton, he had two opportunities to get that proven CEO in here, and both times he failed. He delayed it, and he literally made the decision to fire Saleh at the worst possible time because you're seeing the drop off now with the defense. Ulbrich has no fucking clue.
Well, you're also seeing a bunch of quitters too. Like, this team is a bunch of quitters. They all look to Aaron Rodgers to be their leader and carry them. And once he couldn't, if you can't do it, we can't do it either. We don't care. These guys look like they don't care, dude. This is as bad as the coaching is.
Bring it up all the time, though. You bring it up all the time about the '96 team. They have a lot of talent on that team, but it took Bill Parcells ultimately changing the culture to get it out of them. I think the same thing could be said right now about guys like Sauce. Like the way that his career peaked in year 2 and the drop off now after 10 games is crazy. I mean, you said it yesterday. It's like Jamal Adams, but even worse.
It's worse. This team is a rudderless ship with no leadership from top to bottom. So the first thing is you got to bring in a director of football operations that is a football guy and say, okay, Woody Johnson, you're on that side of the building. Go play with your new uniforms and go put your tweets out there and stay out of football. This guy is running the show. He hires the GM hires a coach, and that's your organization. But they've got to be guys that have been there, done it before. It can't be a newbie. It can't be a first-timer because they're going to get eaten alive here. Exactly. It's just a fact. Exactly. So your list, my list is narrow as fuck, dude. It's literally like Gruden, Vrabel, Rex Ryan, pretty much it. And the one thing that I'll tell you right now, I'm already begging for this. If the 49ers fire Kyle Shanahan,
please let that happen,
dude. I'll take those 12 wins every year and fail in the playoffs. I'll take that, dude.
Please let that happen.
Yeah.
But the likelihood of the Jets getting that Gruden or that Vrabel, I mean, those conversations should be happening right now. You get your feelers out. You say, what's it going to take? What's it going to, what's the price tag? Blank check. Here you go. Are you interested?
Yep.
If not, what else are they going to do? Because from there, if you get that proven guy, I don't know if you need the director of football operations. That guy would probably install his own GM. But if you can't get that proven head coach, then you have to look towards, the Pete Carrolls or the Curtis Martin, whoever you want your president of football operations to be, and hope they can clear out all this mess.
Brian Flores fits the mold too. The cool thing was if you have a chance to watch Brian Flores' videos, his coaching videos on YouTube, they're really good, dude. He's very well spoken, respected, hard-nosed, great defensive guy. You got to have a really good coordinator on the offensive side of the ball, but he is a no-nonsense kind of guy. This team needs a no-nonsense guy, dude. You need a hard ass, but you also need, for me, the coach has to be the face of the franchise. I know people don't like Gruden. To me, you hire John Gruden, that's your face of the franchise. Rodgers is irrelevant, Sauce is irrelevant, Brees Hall, because he's the spokesperson. It all goes through him. What he says goes. He deals with the media, deals with the fans. That's it, dude. And he doesn't give a shit what anybody says. My way or the highway. That's what the Jets need. They don't need a pushover. They don't need a guy that Woody Johnson can push around. They don't need a general manager who knows what the hell he's doing. Like you need a powerful
But that's the
person that can
problem,
handle
though.
things.
Is Woody Johnson going to pay that guy, and is Woody Johnson going to give up
Well,
control?
that's the problem. That's where the problem starts.
We
He's
have
a
to hope
cheap
that he's
ass.
going to the UK, and ideally that would give him an excuse for 4 years to give up power to somebody else. I think that's the only hope there.
This is a great list too. I agree with Dante 100%. Vrabel, Gruden, Stefanski, Shanahan, Flores, 100%. No Nagy, I'm out on him. No
definitely
first-time
not
head coaches. Stefanski's another guy, dude. Stefanski with the Browns, he was winning with less and got stuck with Deshaun Watson. I take him as well.
It always feels like those guys that get fired usually need a year to kind of just relax, and then
I mean, he was a
get back
victim of just
into it.
a horrendous quarterback. I mean, Deshaun Watson is gross at this point. But
So
I mean,
I'm
this
over
is
it still.
But this is where you're at. To me, it's you bring in a prominent person, and that person has full say reorganization. If he says, you know what, I want Rodgers gone, cool. Like Woody says, here's the keys. Here's the keys to the castle. Do whatever you think is best. I'm just going to sit back and watch. If that means trading your favorite player, trade your favorite player. I don't care anymore. This is rock bottom, dude. You see a team that's lifeless, all about themselves, no leadership, no accountability, and nobody's getting better. Will McDonald got a little better, and Jamie Sherwood, pretty much it.
Yeah.
That's it.
There's nothing. There's nothing.
It's this Rodgers
And you're
stuff.
right though. Like this does feel worse than the Gase years when you look at the expectations and also the rebuild that likely lies ahead, assuming they're not able to get that proven, CEO kind of head.
Well,
coach.
you were kind of hoping that, all right, you had a young quarterback. Like, all right, you have the quarterback. You just need better coaching. Right now, we don't have anything.
No.
You don't even have a quarterback. Like, this is rock bottom, because there is no Sam Darnold. Maybe fix him. He'll be better. No, you have Jordan Travis is a project, dude. If you hit lightning in a bottle, you'll be lucky as hell. So it's what, Kirk Cousins? Like, what are you doing? You know what I mean? It's
honestly, I said it. I think that's their only choice is to go with the bridge quarterbacks until the culture shows some kind of signs of changing. You can't bring another rookie quarterback into this environment. No. It just chewed up and spit out a Hall of Fame quarterback in Aaron Rodgers. You think a rookie quarterback is going to survive this? You
Nope.
can't bring a rookie quarterback into this environment. We've seen it with other talented quarterbacks that had the same problems. They went elsewhere. Geno, Sam Darnold, both yesterday, winning football games, playing great down the stretch. Like, they couldn't make it here. You can't survive in this market right now in the current losing culture.
Let me clarify my point for those of you that can't hear. Aaron Rodgers should not come back next year. What little good he did is not good enough over the entire season. So he had 2 touchdowns yesterday. He can't throw the ball further than 10 yards. He can't move out of the pocket. He's not a good leader. So get rid of the fucking Band-Aid and start over with answers. He's not an answer. He's a bad Band-Aid at this. I mean, come on already. It's ridiculous.
The thing, though, in all likelihood, you're going with another Band-Aid.
But I mean, Tyrod Taylor's younger.
So has been known for continuity for another year better than a Tyrod
what's
Taylor
the known? A mopey Aaron
Rodgers
Rodgers that's collecting a check and doing absolutely nothing other than selling watches? Like, he's not a team guy, dude. I'd rather see a guy that's giving his heart and soul to the team, fighting for every yard, than watching a miserable prick like him sit there and make excuses. Why bother? It's not fun to watch. He can't hit open throws anymore. And then he had, why'd you miss Devontae Adams wide open? Well, sometimes I'm right, sometimes I'm wrong. You've been wrong all goddamn season, dude. What's the reason? They catered literally everything to him. His offense, his players, the way he wants to. Gave him all the power in the world. And look what we had. Almost a first half of no first downs. That's him, dude. But you know what? You don't see what I see. What do I see? One of the worst offenses in football. The shit he's doing is the same shit Zach Wilson was doing. That's a fact. Bring him back next year. It's stupid. It's just like, I just gotta stop. Like,
there are no options that really excite me at this point. People are throwing Cam Ward and Shedeur Sanders, like all these guys at me. Like, none of these rookie options get me excited. You don't have the environment right now to foster success for a young quarterback. You just don't.
And I'll answer this question. The question is there any reason why Rodgers isn't throwing the ball downfield? He's scared of interceptions. He's worried about his stats.
Right? They were playing cover 2.
He threw back-to-back 1-yard passes yesterday. 1-yard passes. And that's what you want to bring back? Give me a break, dude. I'm just, like I said, like, I'm older. I'm just fed up, and I'm done with the Rodgers experience. Like, you just got to understand where we are and blow it up. Don't keep adding more gas to the fire. Put the fire out and start over. And he's part of the problem. But there's a lot of problems. Not a lot of answers.
I just want to know who's blowing it up.
It's got to be somebody legitimate, man.
Because if it's not, the problem that I have is that with Woody Johnson likely going overseas, you're going to be tied to this person for 4 years. So, any mistakes, any failures in year 1 or year 2, just like with Douglas, just like with Saleh, we're going to write it off. They got to install their own guys, patience, give it some time. But it's ultimately going to be 4 years that the next hire that you make is probably going to have. So if it's a bad one, like we're going to be sitting through it for 4 years.
I agree. But that's the problem. It's just they're that's why, like, because last night I was so disgusted yesterday. I was thinking, like, why are we fans? Like, there's not one piece of this team where you can hang your hat on, like, I'm proud of this team. Like, there's like a player that you love or a part of the team that you love or something you can hang your hat on. They're unlikable. They're unwatchable. I mean, there's nobody you want to keep. Like, we used to be big Sauce fans. Now he's just like, what's going on with him? Breece Hall, decent player.
I keep Garrett.
I mean, Garrett, but Garrett wants out, dude. Do you think he's going to sit through a rebuild?
He deserves better than this.
Like Quentin Williams, good player. Quincy, good player. Quincy's going to get for a new contract. He's going to get more money. But at some point, players want to get paid. Thanks to Saleh, they got to get the money.
Oh, yeah.
But the other thing they want to do, they want to win. Because now they're getting to the point where they're getting mocked in the stands for getting a first down. They're getting mocked in the stands for getting a tackle. Like, nobody wants to deal with that. Now they realize what the Jets' dysfunction is. When the players first got here, all these young players didn't know what is the same old Jets? We don't buy into that. We don't know the same old Jets. They all know that. They've been indoctrinated now. They are well-versed what same old Jets is, because they're living it every goddamn day.
It's devoured them.
Yeah, it's just... Yeah, and then again, the sack at the end of the game. He's a Hall of Famer. Like, he literally... You see Rodgers literally give up. Like, his body, you could just see it. It's terrible, dude.
Or he's just old. I mean...
He gives up, dude. I just think he knows he's in a losing situation, and he's not going to rise to the occasion and do it for whatever reason. Now he's like, I'm finally healthy. Whatever, bro. You still ain't moving, and you still ain't throwing the ball downfield. And the defense is just disgusting. And that's a Joe Douglas thing. And, why is Joe Douglas still here?
That bothers me more than anything that Aaron Rodgers did yesterday. The fact that
why is Joe Douglas still here? Like, what is he doing? Like, are the Jets worried? But, like, it's the last year of his contract. Are they worried about embarrassing themselves? Like, we don't want to fire him. We're going to let him play out his contract until the end of the year. So what you do is you have a person making personnel decisions for your team that's not going to be here next year. That's similar to letting Mike McCagnon spend $100 million and then firing him. It's the same goddamn thing.
Is he really making any personnel decisions, though?
But that's the problem, though.
They didn't even put the kicker on the active roster before the game this week.
But I'm saying is, what effort is he scrolling the free agent wire, looking for guys to upgrade the defensive line? Is he looking? Are there any active workouts? What are they doing to make the team better? What is he doing? Is he fully vested, or is he sitting there counting down the clock? Well, one more day to get out of here. One more day to get out of here. What's he doing?
He's planning for life after the Jets. And the Jets should be planning for life after Joe Douglas as well. They should be getting their candidates in order, figuring out.
Well, I'm sure they are
interested in this ridiculous rebuild that they're trying to start for the third time in the last decade.
And I said this. I told you guys at the trade deadline, I would have been a seller. But the season's still no. You could have traded DJ Reed. You could have traded Conklin. You could have traded Reddick. You could think the Lions couldn't use Reddick? I guess they could have. But guess what?
What are you going to get though? 4th round pick?
You know what? It's all pieces of the puzzle, bro. They're not going to be here next year. Look how many guys we let walk last year. You know what? You want a 4th round pick? Maybe you get your next Bryce Huff. Maybe you get a player.
Yeah, but then once they walk this offseason, you'll get the comp pick because we're probably not
in 2 fucking years. I want answers next year. Why wait 2 years? That'll be
perfect for our time. Our timeline's at least 4 or 5 years down the line anyway, so you might as well get the draft picks 2 years from now.
That's just stupid.
We're not competing within the next 2 years.
But dude, the problem is you get answers immediately. Now you're worried about comp picks? That's Joe Douglas's problem. DJ Reed should have been gone. Reddick should have been gone. Conklin should have been gone. Period.
If they're ultimately tearing it down and starting another rebuild, you're not competing for another 2 to 3 years anyway.
So you get the guys in the building. Why wait 2 years when we can get them next year? I don't have a fourth round pick next year to wait 2 years. Get them in the building. See what you have. You get a diamond in the rough finally. This team is they just don't know what in the fuck they're doing. Nobody does. Douglas, Woody, Ulbrich, they're all lost. They're so far in over their heads and there's no answer. And now you got to pray that you got to figure out who can save this organization. They're literally saving them, dude, because you need a legitimate culture change of the highest proportion. Like literally, you got to teach this team how to act like adults, how to tackle, how to win, how to handle winning, how to handle adversity,
how to practice.
Oh, they got that down. They're the best practice team in the NFL. Just ask them.
What do they say? Yeah.
Bunch of clowns. This is as bad as it gets, dude. This is.
It really is.
We've been through a lot, but like, there's literally no glimmer of hope. Like, you have to hope that you got to beg Vrabel. You got to literally beg him. Please come here, and we'll give you $12 million a year for 10 years. Like, what are you going to do?
You got to have a blank check for somebody. That is literally the only thing that is going to save this organization. There is no first-time head coach or rookie quarterback that's coming here and saving this shit.
Yeah, Benigno's just ridiculous at this point. Like, what do you want to do? Bring back Sanchez too to get Sanchez out of the booth? Come on, man. Fucking Tannenbaum. Like people.
I think
forget.
Rex only makes sense if you can't get that proven CEO guy and you're looking for like a bridge guy for another year or two. Then all right, whatever. Because I don't want to invest in a first time, like, so let's say you're going Ben Johnson and a first time GM.
Yep.
Well, they're going to get 4 years regardless.
Yep.
So like I was saying before, if it starts off shaky, they're still going to get those 4 years and you're going to be forced to sit through it. So I'd rather not invest in somebody who's not proven. But
yeah, I mean, Pete Carroll. Why would Pete Carroll leave a cush job on the West Coast where you can to come to the East Coast and deal with our chaos?
He's 80 years old, right?
Yeah, he's not going to do that. And
Curtis Martin's interesting. I keep seeing that floating around, but
Gruden's not gone, dude. Right? What he's doing right now is a marketing campaign. He's getting himself all over social media with his fire and his brimstone, as his X and his O's, and his personality. And once the season's over, if he gets an offer, he'll leave Barstool. That's how it works. There's an out. Like, no, I can't. Somewhere. Yeah, I'm not going to coach because I'm at Barstool. No, it's just he's resurrecting his career right now. And successfully, too. I enjoy all his content.
He will be back somewhere.
Yeah, and the Curtis Martin thing, dude, you know what? I mean, excellent person, great representative, great ambassador for the team. He's got a lot of NFL ties, like the Bill Parcells, a lot of guys. Yep. But the only thing is he actively involved in football now? He seemed like a guy who wasn't really paying close attention to. He's kind of like he shows up for like Legends Day.
10 years ago that he wanted to get involved with ownership, and he was looking to buy a stake in a team and something like that. So I mean, I would think he's still involved in some capacity. I don't know exactly what he's doing, but
I like Louis.
He even want the job. That's
I like Louis Riddick a lot. I would love for him to come in because that's a guy with an attitude, man. That's a guy like a no shit attitude. I would like him a lot. I wouldn't. Why not?
Dolphins retread scares me.
Dude, listen, man. I want no nonsense guys. I like Louis Riddick a lot. Why not? So we'll go to callers. I don't have a lot to say tonight. I'm so disgusted with this team. There's literally no hope. There's just no hope, man.
There really isn't. Like you were saying, I mean, you don't even have a young quarterback that you can get excited about. You don't know who the GM's going to be, who the head coach is going to be, if the owner's even going to be here or not. Like there's literally nothing that you can hang your hat on and be like, all right, this is something we can look forward to for the next couple of years.
Like, how many building blocks are on this team right now? Legitimate building blocks.
Garrett, if he wants to stay.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if we could even call Brees a building block. I don't know if you're going to pay a running back.
Tippmann.
Tippmann.
Olu wasn't
stay healthy.
You got to hope Olu gets better, but I mean, they've been bouncing Olu around all over the line, so you can't get mad at him for his first game at left tackle. But you figure Olu, Tippmann,
Quincy, maybe.
But look on offense. You got Garrett if he stays here. You got Garrett, Olu, Tippmann, maybe Braylon Allen. Devontae's gone. Gibson, whatever. Corley hasn't done anything yet. Defense, you got Quinnen and Quincy. Jermaine Johnson.
Carter.
Will McDonald, I guess. DJ Reed's going to be gone.
Can we explain what the fuck happened to Tony Adams yesterday? How does Kinlaw not get benched? Clemens doesn't get benched. Tony Adams, though.
To make an example out of him.
Ulbrich doesn't even have the balls to say why he benched him either.
Mm-mm.
It wasn't anything personal or something that he did off the field, but he's not going to go into details why. Fuck out of here.
It's so ridiculous. All right, so we'll go to some calls. It's an angry show tonight. Everybody's angry, rightfully so. What's up, man?
What's up, guys? Another week of disappointment. But luckily for myself, I was rooting for the loss, and I was nonetheless surprised. Unsurprised, should I say. I had to at this point. I had to.
You're in tank mode.
Yeah, fully. I've actually been there before the Texans game, but I really didn't say it because obviously we won the Texans game, which ruined the possibility of trading anybody at the trade deadline, which I thought would have made sense. That's what any sensible organization or GM candidate does. But again, Joe Douglas is vying for his job, or was, not anymore, obviously. It almost feels like the Jets are a step late on everything. They're a step late on the coaching search. They should have fired. I thought they should have fired Sal year 2 when they could have gotten Sean Payton. They didn't fire him last year when they could have gotten Harbaugh. They fired him 5 weeks into the season, which was too late, obviously, into last year. They could have fired Joe Douglas last year for the handling of the backup quarterback position. Not even just the backup quarterback position, because that's Woody Johnson, because he didn't pay Aaron Rodgers insurance. That's what caused the cap to go from this to this.
Yep.
it's just like the Jets do everything half-assed and very late. And like because there's two situations, I should say there's two solutions, in my opinion, for the Jets next year. None of them has to do with Aaron Rodgers. It's either number one, draft a quarterback, but the culture is so bad at this point. It's like the worst I've ever seen. Or number two, you do a bridge kind of year where you have Tyrod Taylor, Jordan Travis, and maybe you go sign like Justin Fields, an all-in quarterback competition, like what the Steelers did this year. You think about it.
Exactly.
Russell Wilson, he's trying to revive his career. Justin Fields got traded there, trying to revive his career. Like if you get good coaches, I know it's going to be kind of a flash in the pan kind of thing, but if you get good coaches, you can make a good year out of it and say, hey, you know what, is Justin Fields maybe the building block for the future? Do you have Tyrod Taylor, maybe trade him and draft a quarterback when the culture is all good? And those are my top two solutions right now, honestly. And
that's all there is, man.
Sensible.
I think the second one's probably the one to go with. You go with Tyrod, Jordan Travis. You bring in like a Justin Fields is perfect. Three-man competition, best man wins. Play good defense, run the ball, and see what happens, and just rebuild that way. I mean, that's all you can really do.
And that's the only thing they can do. It's not fair to any young quarterback to throw him into this environment. And you know that any first-time head coach is going to be pressured into trying to play the kid year one, which we've seen time and again is always a failure here. So I'd go with the bridge. Absolutely.
Again, it's whoever you hire, the GM and the coach, and you say, you know what, it's your take on the quarterback. We're not hamstringing you. We're not going to let you be hamstrung by Rodgers. And again, I'm not for him next year, but that's the two solutions we're down to, as you guys were mentioning as well. Like, who's the real building blocks on this team? Like, you could obviously, I think next year you decide whose option you pick up and whose option you don't in terms of that 2022 draft class. Like, Jermaine Johnson had one really good year. He got hurt, so that's obviously a question. Garrett Wilson, I think you pick up the option. I think he's a guy you extend, but he has to want to stay here. Sauce Gardner, do you really pick up his option? Because, as talented as he is,
I'm trading Sauce. I'm trading Sauce.
I'm about to say,
I'm trading him though.
In terms of picking the option, he's talented. He's had a bad year this year. You want to hope he bounces back, but at the same time, you say, you know what? This guy has a very smug attitude. He doesn't care. He talked about the tackling seminar this week. He's like, oh, I really didn't think we needed it. And then he proceeds to miss a tackle. I think it was like Adonai Mitchell on a crosser route, which defenses.
I mean, you're seeing a team hitting adversity, and Sauce is kind of falling in with it, not being a leader that we thought he was. And he's becoming part of the problem, where it's like, you know what? His value isn't what it should be, but you can go.
Would you rather see what the next head coach wants to do with him?
But see, now I have a bad taste in my mouth. But do you want to give him $30 million a year? What if he does this again? Then what? Now you're stuck with a disgruntled guy making a shitload of money. He kind of
a victim of the culture. And another thing that I've seen on Twitter a little bit, and this isn't from Jet fans, this is from like mostly the casual fans and the NFL, like this notion that's being posed by the beat reporters as well. Oh, the Jets are this record since firing Robert Saleh. Robert Saleh was a problem. He was not the problem. Kevin. I know what you're going to say, that the Jets, over hastily fired Saleh because, Woody Johnson wants to sell tickets. I get your idea. It's the problem that he was a problem. I'm not saying, firing him after week 5 was the right idea because, in principle, I believed it at the time because, the Jets needed a quick turnaround and all that. You got to save your season. But Woody Johnson did it for the wrong reasons. That's the problem.
He could be a problem, but also could have been the little bit of glue that was keeping this all from completely falling apart. And
they were underachieving with him too, though.
No, absolutely they were. But the season wasn't lost yet. You were one game out of first place.
I mean, I think it was starting to fall apart.
The last 3 weeks, you look at the Patriot game 2 weeks ago where they gave up the game-winning drive, the last minute. And then again yesterday, I mean, I know Saleh's defenses weren't perfect, but they were much better than what we've seen under Ulbrich. So
it wasn't even just the defenses.
I think when you combine the tackling, the lack of effort, the body language, like all these things, I think it's fair to say a lot of players have like justifiably quit.
But it wasn't.
Wait! Justifiably quit? Why is it justified to quit when your coach gets fired?
Because you have an owner that doesn't know anything about. You have an owner that doesn't know anything about football, and he says, "I'm going to fire your head coach just because I feel like it."
So you mail in the season?
They look at this organization like it's a fucking Mickey Mouse organization.
But then, if that's their mindset, then they all should go because you're a fucking bunch of quitters. Then it should rally, like, we just cost this guy his job. If we don't clean up, we're gonna be gone too. You actually care. You actually take pride in your job, not be a bitch.
If he was their guy, and you have an owner that doesn't know anything about
That's
football,
soft, dude. That's a soft fucking mindset. That's so fucking soft.
Here's my basic
Take your
point,
ball
though.
and go home, then. Get the fuck out of here.
Salah championed that culture. You know the
He
shit
sure
he was saying
did.
first year. He was like, "Oh, I'm a grown man. I don't need to motivate players. Playing a little kids game or some shit like that." He was championing the culture. That's the problem I have. And if these soft players like, "Oh, I'm upset Salah got fired because he's enabling us," and I'm proud of being enabled.
But it started. But
go out the door then.
But it started with Woody Johnson. Never give a playoff mandate. Woody Johnson never had the urgency where they had to win games. They justify losing, they excuse losing, and that's the culture. And when Salah grossly underperformed, when he shouldn't fired a year ago, no, you know what? It's okay. It's not that bad. It's not that bad. No, it was bad. We know bad football. We know a bad coach.
But they also
we need continuity.
Not to become a Salah apologist here, but they also didn't give him a backup quarterback a year ago either.
That's true too. I'm not, dude. That's what I'm saying. It's the problems start from the top down. They're always like everybody's contributed to this mess, but Salah was a big part of this problem too, his culture and his leadership. He was a player's guy to the point where they ran the asylum.
But I think it's also fair to say that since they fired him, the wheels have completely fallen off.
Well, that just shows you the leadership in the locker room. That just shows you what kind of leaders they really have, including Rodgers.
Yeah, so much and he doesn't do anything. Doesn't talk to anybody.
Why are the Saints rallying behind the special teams coach? They hated Dennis Allen, I guess that's what that was.
And why does Rodgers keep having miscommunications with these receivers? Like I saw Tyler Conklin run an in route, and Rodgers, how is it possible that he has this bad of miscommunications? And we're week 11, week 12 of the season? Like, don't you know your receivers by now,
bro? He's missing Devontae Adams, his best goddamn friend.
Exactly. You can't possibly sign me up next year for Aaron Rodgers. Can't. But again, there's no hope for this organization whatsoever.
Thanks for calling, man. We appreciate it.
Talk to you guys later.
Yeah, I'm in a mood tonight, man. I'm just tired of hearing fucking excuses. I'm tired of it. Like this, act like adults, man. Act like your job actually matters. This is some straight bullshit. Let's go to Bubs. What's up, man?
What's up, Bubs?
Hey, thanks for having me out, guys.
What else do we do? I mean, this is what we're here for.
It's just a giant circus with different clowns every year. That's what this is.
That's what people said. Like, do you want this? Do you want Devontae Adams? Like, add more clowns to the circus. Like, why not?
Just bring Reddick in, everybody.
Like the Jets and Giants are competing to be the biggest circus in town.
But you know what, though? As a Giant fan, I know you want to lose games. I'd be excited. I want to see Tommy DeVito play. Like, that's actually, like, a young kid, Jersey kid, feisty, competes. Like, at least, all right, I have a reason to watch. What reason do the Jets give you to watch other than pain?
But they're
excited to see Aaron Rodgers play?
Too. They're doing it to tank. They're doing it because they don't want to pay Drew Lock. I mean,
I'd rather see Tommy DeVito play anyway. I think Tommy DeVito should have started.
Yeah,
Bubs.
They're both a train wreck. It's just crazy. Just on that point, like, it's crazy how we live in the biggest sports market and neither of these football teams can pull their heads out of their rear end any of these years. I mean, I know they got to the playoffs 2 years ago, but they're a mess now. Yeah, this team's a train wreck. There's so many problems. Kind of the same thing, same story every week with this team. But I agree a lot with Lucas said about the coach. Like, this team always seems to be doing things late. And I think somebody might have mentioned this even earlier in the year, and everybody knows, if we're being honest, like, it always feels like the football gods or whatever is like telling us to do things and we never do it. Like after that Seattle game, if we're being honest, 2022, when the team quit and laid down with a chance to win that week, go to Miami and have a chance to play for the playoffs, they quit and they lost that game. They should have fired him then. They should have fired him after last year and said they wait now. But like we talk about often, this team's like the definition of insanity. And to me, I totally agree. The definition of insanity would be bringing Rodgers back next year. I cannot, because to me, it's like, it's doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. To me, the whole Rodgers window got ruined 4 snaps in, if we're being honest, because the defense isn't the same. He's now going to be a year older coming off the torn Achilles. We saw all these problems with the coaching staff come out last year, and they didn't make any changes. We should have known that this was going to happen. But like, he's going to be 41 next year, going to be 42. Nobody's going to want to come here and coach with him. He's not going to want to learn a new system. So you're going to get some like retreaded with his third team and like Mike McCarthy, who's going to get run out of town in Dallas. Like no way they can do you. I can't do it. He's got no, like Luca mentioned it. No, he never talked to anybody on the sidelines. The only guy I've actually seen this year talk to his players, his receivers on the sidelines is Tyrod. In that London game, Rodgers was sitting there with the towel over his head. Tyrod was talking to the receivers. I would rather Tyrod next year. Let's be honest here. How far of a drop off is a 41-year-old Aaron Rodgers to Tyrod Taylor? Rodgers can't move. At least Tyrod can move.
Yep.
And you bring him in with Travis. You let him compete. You want to bring in Fields, whatever. I don't even know if they'll draft a quarterback, bring him into this culture. It's probably not a great idea, but at least Tyrod is significantly less baggage. You don't have all this attention. You don't have a guy that Rodgers is just here collecting a paycheck. That's what he's doing. He does not want to be here. He doesn't want to stretch the field because he doesn't want to make his stats look too bad. So if there's another team that trade for him, like if you look at his numbers,
I disagree that he's just here collecting a paycheck, though. He doesn't need that. He could be retired, enjoying life right now, getting ready for his next political adventure.
Well, then he should retire.
He doesn't need to add this Jets blemish onto his legacy.
So then why is he coming back? Money.
He doesn't
$37 million?
He doesn't need the money.
Then why is he coming back? He's not playing well. He's embarrassing himself week in and week out.
I like to believe that he actually wanted to bring a winner to New York. I think he underestimated.
I think he wanted to until he got jetted. Yes. He wanted to, and then realized he's in over his head where this team really needs a lot of leadership, and I'm not that guy.
Yes, I agree with that.
If it's not about money, he should retire because he's done. He should not be playing football anymore.
Rodgers is realizing that what he took on here with no competent coaching staff, he cannot overcome it. And that's just the way he is.
Maybe 10 years ago, he would have been capable of it. At age 40, he's just not.
No, yeah. I mean, it's just you cannot bring him back. And he even mentioned it, like, it's just no coach is going to want to. Vrabel's not going to come. Like, people got to get that through their mind. Nobody's going to want to come here for a 1-year Rodgers window. It's just so stupid. It's not happening. It's not happening. A proven
coach, you're giving them the power to make that decision, I would assume. So if you're talking Vrabel, Gruden, whoever, like, you would give them the authority to.
You need to
move on from them.
You need to deal with that like instantly. Don't let Rodgers play it out like have a saga until April if I decide if I want to retire or not. Like, you know what? Either you're retiring or we're cutting you or trading you. Like, we're not going to wait till fucking May for this. No. We need to move on as an organization.
Yeah, and you make a great point, Tyson. That's something the Jets got to do. They won't do it because there's not a single working person in the front office, so they have no clue what they're doing. Who even knows if Douglas is in the state of New Jersey right now? I mean, who even knows where he is? But they got to – and you're spot on with that. They got to sit down with him and figure out what the heck he's going to do, what the heck his next plan is, because he can't pull what he pulled in Green Bay the last 2 years where you're sitting here in March and April and we have no clue what he's going to do. Because that's going to affect the coaching search. It's going to affect the general manager. You can't do that. It's going to affect the way they draft. They sign free agents. You can't have this go on for a month, 2 months after the season. It's got to be something that's done right away.
I completely agree.
And I'll even say this. Like, I was thinking about this earlier today, whether it's the slow starts or, collapsing in games. When's the last time I was thinking about it? And I do have a game in mind, but like the last time this team legitimately came out prepared, played a full 60 minutes of football against a good team. I'm not talking New England week 3 of the season, like a good playoff team. The last time they actually dominated from start to finish.
Good question.
To me, I was just thinking
the Bills, right? When they went to 6-3.
Yeah, it could have been the Bills or even that Miami game earlier that year. Yeah. When Sauce had the blitz like first drive.
They knocked out Bridgewater
out. Yeah. But even then, though, they were facing Skylar.
But that's the thing. Like, look at the history of this team. They've had 2 years since 2010 that they've been over 500. Like, they're known for losing. It's what they do. It's crazy.
Yeah. It's a losing culture. And you've got to it's Vrabel, it's Gruden. Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's very, very short list. I mean,
I'll take Kyle Shanahan in a second. I'm begging for them to fire him. I will be, dude. I'd drive myself.
Don't even get me excited about that.
Dude, dude, the 49er fans were tagging me like, dude, this guy sucks. We want to fire him. I'm like, bro, listen, I don't give a shit. I'll underachieve in the Super Bowl. No problem. I just want to win goddamn games, man. I would take him in an instant.
Yeah. I totally agree. It's like, if Shanahan gets fired, you 100% jump on that. Although, not that look, if Shanahan, he would probably still come here. But you think the way he went with like LaFleur and the Saleh connection, you think he'd be like swayed away.
That's a good point too. Like, you fucking
he
ruined my dreams, Bubs. You're ruining my dreams right now.
They destroyed his two friends. I do have a question though.
Put the call in. Shit.
Like general manager wise, you guys ever think about just you say it all the time, Tyson. Like, you don't want to have the guy that gets the water for the guy that gets the coffee for some winning organization. Just thinking of a proven guy. Like, do you think John Dorsey would come here? I mean, he kind of got Cleveland off the ground. He's with Casey all those years. He's been with Detroit since 2021. Has kind of helped them get off the ground. Like,
it comes down to money and power. It comes down to how much money you want to give him, how much power you want to give him. If it's going to be passing things by Woody to make a decision, it ain't going to happen. That's the problem. Will Woody concede finally? Be like, you know what? It's all you. That's
And that's why we gotta hope he goes to the UK, because if he does, that's the excuse to give it away for 4 years.
Yeah, 100%.
How's your channel doing, man?
Doing good.
You're
Doing
a
good.
writer. You're a podcaster. You're a streamer. You do it all, dude. God damn.
Yeah, I just wish you could cover winning football.
Well,
One
Same
day.
after 10 years.
You can't have it all, man.
Yeah,
Have a good night, man.
Have it going, guys.
Yeah, I was going through the timeline. Like, check out my latest article. I'm like, damn, he's writing now. Jeez, this guy's a machine. I know. New man.
What is this?
Well, first of all, let me start off by saying that I called this one, and that Primetime, despite ignoring my tweets, my Twitter messages, he has lost the bet. I let him off the hook for it.
No, you don't have to.
It's
I'll own
water
it.
under the bridge.
I'll own it.
No, but it would have been a lot easier if Joe Flacco came in. That's all I'm going to say. It would have been elite. Would have been elite play.
It would have been more fitting if they lost to Flacco. But
So here's a question. Could there be hope with Chris Johnson? He ate some humble pie at the end of the Gase era, and he did the right moves hiring Joe Douglas and Saleh, just not the right people. I mean,
the only hope with Chris Johnson taking over is that you hope that he would just completely stay out of the picture for 4 years. That Woody and whoever is going to run the search now, then he leaves for 4 years, and Chris ultimately just stays out of the way. You hire the right people.
You can't trust any of these people.
I mean, I just can't get the Gase thing out of my head with him for some reason. I just can't.
Where
Like,
football's going?
Yeah, like I have like I see the clown mask coming back out. Like you just know it's like right. Like you could just it's just flashbacks, right? PTSD right off the bat with that.
The Wayne Gretzky quote.
Oh, it's just so incompetent.
Okay, we'll start a protest in his parking spot. I know where it is at training camp. It's right next to Woody's. We'll set up camp.
Next to a dumpster.
Yeah, next to the dumpster.
So what's your take on Rodgers? Bring him back next year?
Oh no, he's done. He's washed. Get him to Minnesota ASAP. I mean, like that's just besides the point. Which is where the title of this call comes in. We need new men, new man, new men. We need new life in here. And the problem with that is the only way. Because I don't know if this is exactly what Primetime is arguing, but I don't agree of like bringing some Josh McCown in here to stink it up for 2 years. No, we need a rookie quarterback who could at least give us hope, and that maybe they won't be great the first year, but we need something to build.
So not only do you want to draft another rookie quarterback, but you actually want to play them in their first year.
I mean, like maybe not right away, but at some point. I mean, what's the point of? Why do we draft people? It's like Olu. What are we just going to leave him on the bench the whole year? I mean, I know it's a long time. You probably don't remember with Chad Pennington. I mean, he sat for over 2 years. Eventually, when they put him in, I mean, he left the chart right away. Love Rodgers.
Since then, every quarterback that we've drafted, from Sanchez to Geno to Darnold to Zach Wilson, we throw them in there right away. They're clearly not ready. They develop bad habits. And then we repeat the cycle another 3-4 years.
We need what is like? I would be for a rookie quarterback if it was a slam dunk like Jaden Daniels. Like if you knew it was like the top quarterback available, the Jets are going to probably draft 9, 10, 11. They're going to win 2 or 3 more games to piss us off.
See, that's
the problem.
You need to that's the other point. The problem with Rodgers is all of this goes away if they're in a position to pick one of the first 2 quarterbacks. All of this that forces their hand. That might bring in a good head coach. Yep. Like that is the turning point of this organization.
This is the conversation we had 4 years ago.
But it's true though. Like if you say, listen,
it's going to be a selling point for a great head coach. Look what we got.
But that's what if you have the number 2 pick, you hope that's what say, hey, you know what? Hey, Vrabel, you may hate Woody Johnson, may hate this, but we're giving you the number 2 pick in the draft. You probably get the quarterback you want and rebuild your way. You have number 10 pick in the draft, you're gonna be fucking trying to trade up or settling or
on top of that, we're way more desperate than we were 4 years ago, and that we're not just gonna go for like, oh, here's somebody, he worked at 7-Eleven, but now he wants to be an NFL coach. He walks upstairs sometimes when he's excited. Like, no, this is why I'm rooting for it, and this is why this Jaguars game now is the one I have circled. This is gonna be the big one, and
that's the ultimate tank game.
Yeah, and I mean, it's looking up.
The Rams stream.
We got defeat from the jaws of victory. I was on the edge of my seat. We got the Giants. They're going to ruin their tank. They got Tommy Cutlets coming in. going to ruin Thanksgiving for everyone. It's going to be great. I mean, no.
In November.
I'm telling you, Rodgers
I'm
will
all
win
about
enough
Justin
games.
Fields.
Rodgers going to
You
win
got
enough games to
Justin
screw
Fields,
us.
Trevor Lawrence.
No.
Any one of them.
He's shot. He's shot.
He'll win enough
I mean,
games.
No, he's not.
They're going to win at least 3 more games. Book
No
it.
way. No way.
100%.
They're
I'll
not.
bet you.
At
I'll
least
bet
two.
you.
Okay. Do I have to take up another bet? I'll do it. I'm confident maybe 2 max, but not 3. There's no way.
No, it'd be Rodgers like his farewell song. He just goes
No.
a little run the end of the season. I told you so. What could have been?
If
That's
Tua,
gonna be how he comes back next year. They're gonna finish like 5-1. It's like I still got more left in the tank.
5-1. What do you fuck? How much you drink
It's
tonight?
gonna be like that Vince
5-1.
Carter meme. I got one more left in me.
yeah, if Tua gets hurt again, if they have to stretch him out, then maybe we have to play Tim Boyle. Oh, speaking of,
Oh yes.
the Grey Cup was last night. Congratulations to Blue Bombers wide receiver Chris Strevler, who now plays wide receiver. He's so bad at quarterback.
You
that
know
he's
who's
wide receiver.
who's doing really well there is Lorenzo Malden. He's got a title. He's doing awesome over there.
He's been a beast
Yeah.
everywhere he goes.
Well,
He's got defensive player of the year. I think he was. He did all kinds of shit over there.
I'm trying to remember which team they're on. Did I flip it? Was he on Toronto? No, I don't know. Santos, I think. I think Santos also was on one of the teams in the finals. But
Okay.
Jets kicker for 1 year. So we're at this point now where we gotta buckle down here.
Buckle down. Full tank.
No, nobody breathe. No sun movements. Just gotta ease in. We're talking CFL. Hey, it was a good matchup.
Listen, man. After what we watched yesterday, I'll watch CFL over the Jet games too, man. I mean, please.
No, and it was great because in the CFL they only have 3 downs. So after second down, they punt it. So it's kind of like watching the Jets. It just gets right to the point. It's like first down, second down.
That's
punt,
something.
oh,
Wait, you know what though? That's something the Jets should implement. Why even go to 4th down? Just punt on 3rd down. It'd be easier. Rodgers won't get hurt. You know.
there you go. Pooch on it.
Time
Usually
management.
they lose yards on 3rd down anyway.
And then you want to talk
Kelly
about
Sack.
established coaches. The Winnipeg coach has been to 4 straight. We got to get him on the horn.
Might as well.
That's the fresh blood we need.
That's where football is going.
CFL.
I like this call. You're exploring all options. I like this.
We gotta
No
explore
cage left
everything.
unturned.
No stone left unturned.
I appreciate this effort here. You bring more to the table than primetime. The primetime just gave up. You're giving us options now. You're talking about CFL options. This is impressive stuff.
No, yeah, you gotta be constantly channel scrolling, looking through the next big thing.
Have a good night, man.
Oh wait, before we go,
Yes.
just for the record, the bet was originally that Primetime was gonna wear a Flacco shirt that said Flacco. There was a good one. It was a Flacco Colts shirt, but then obviously the game took a different course, and we had to deal with Richardson. But you know, it is what it is. But
You decide what you want me to wear. If you want to go
It's
like Geno
fine,
Smith
we're
next
letting it
week,
go.
you can do that.
No.
or 2
Don't let
weeks.
him out. What? Don't let him out. Hold on.
okay, I'll figure something out. It's
You want me
fine.
to shotgun for the Seahawks game? I could do that. Whatever you want to do.
Well,
Give us
we'll
something
figure
good.
it
This
out.
is all we have left is entertainment because it's not
Exactly.
football.
Okay, and then maybe I'll figure out something with Tyson for the last 5 games, 6
Let's
games.
do it. I'm down.
Okay, I'll
Have
see
a good
you
night,
guys.
man.
Have a good night.
So now we have a celebrity we could bring on because while me and you were sitting here streaming, working our asses off, some of us, some person to be named, was in a suite at the stadium.
Oh.
Free
I know.
food, free drink, free parking, living a luxurious life, sending me pictures like, hey, I wish you were here. Like, no, I don't want to be there at all.
We live
But
that
I mean-
peasant life.
But I mean, when you live in that sweet life, like the coaches club life, I mean, you're somebody special. So I
didn't know
told you,
Apple
this
was
guy,
like that.
the YouTube channel is no doubt, and that means, and he's always on YouTube. He acts like he's innocent. Every time I put on some channel, he's always on talking to somebody, acting all innocent.
He's big time.
He is.
I'm Jerry Jones, my friend.
Like John Wayne.
Yes.
Don't be hating.
Listen, man, I wish to have that kind of like luxurious lifestyle.
It's pretty good, though, I have to admit.
Yeah, how was it?
It's excellent. Food there, everything.
What'd you
Food,
eat?
drink. You got to go through. It's
What was the menu?
elevator. Huh?
What was the menu?
They had the sandwiches, they had pulled pork sandwiches, they had some salads, hot dogs, chicken tenders, and then some desserts. It was good, and all the drink you could, wine and beer
That's what I've
and
done.
water and. But But it was nice because it's inside. You have like 3 TVs inside,
There you go.
couch. You could sit inside, or there's about 18 seats outside.
Well, we have no home field advantage. Everybody's sitting on couches.
But
inside.
the third level was a beautiful view. I mean, you could see the whole field and all that. I didn't get to see much because 2 quarters were on the other end. I just got to see, like that picture I showed you, had nothing in the just nothing to watch on my end. I was hoping that it would come down to that field goal, bring down the drive so we can kick a winning field goal. But
So what was the crowd like? I'm sure the first half everybody's booing and miserable.
yeah, but let me tell you, below me on the lower level, it was all, I would say, I'm going to say 50-50 Colt fans.
Wow.
I swear to God, they were cheering every time, and then it was a big
I saw
cheer
the
once
prices.
the time ran out. It was, yeah, I was surprised that many Colt fans, but they got there. They came
Tickets
for
were
the
cheap.
team. Yeah, even my parking pass was I went through Ticketmaster because all you
Right
got
about
the
mine.
tickets. I got $35. I was in Premier Gold.
Look at you, Premier Parking too.
Well, I would have given you mine. I had a gold pass. I would've just
No,
given
but
it to you.
but when we were going, the guy said just park over here, and we were like 20 feet away from the entrance. It
You probably
was
parked next to Olbrich.
yeah. No, I was afraid my car would be towed.
All right, so Afram, you got to give us 3 ways you can fix the Jets. How are you going to do it?
Oh, guys, it all is going to stem down to these owners, the 2 brothers giving total give up the team to one guy to run the whole football operations.
Yep.
If we have that, if they actually do that, then you hire a competent, experienced football guy, a guy who can run, who's done it before.
Yep.
I know we're talking about Curtis Martin, but he's a nice guy, but I don't think he's had enough experience or has any experience in running a team. So it's got to be somebody that's done it before, not a GM, but someone who's done it before, right?
Yep.
I don't know who's available on that level, right? But he's got someone who also has ties to good GMs, right?
Yep.
That's what you want. And
It's the
then
network.
hopefully,
Yep.
once if you get a good GM, he's going to get a good. He can attract a good coach.
Yep. It starts with
Right?
that.
Exactly.
Are we
So
listening
we
to
have to rely.
ourselves?
You
All these
mentioned
things that need to go
Woody
in.
going to England, right? All right. So left Chris Johnson. Chris Johnson hired Joe Douglas based on what Gase told him, and he
True.
hired Gase based on what Peyton told him. Who's the next guy he's going to call?
Exactly. Or
That's
the
that's
next
that's
firm
the,
that's
those are
gonna
the
hire.
things you worry about.
Well, it's what's interesting is you wonder who, because right now they're probably trying to figure out what their plan is. Who are their references? Like, who are they reaching out to get insight to how to fix their team? Like, who's their like, you know what I mean? Like their NFL friends that give them insight. Who's helping them? Are they going back to former GMs? Like, who are they talking to?
That's the
Casserly
scary
again?
part. Who are
Right?
they talking to?
That's like they
Nobody.
tried Charlie Casserly, that didn't work. Bill
Right.
Polian, all these guys. Like, who's the guy that's gonna give them insight? Like, listen, go talk to this guy, go talk to that guy. Who's their
Well, if you're going to talk to someone, asking for his or her opinion, then make them the person to run football operations. Then at that point, why you need to ask? Is it another salary he has to pay now?
Well, they're already short staffed in the front office. They didn't
Yeah.
replace a lot of guys that left.
Yeah,
They made a lot of cuts this year. Yeah.
he's disappeared. You don't hear anything. How
Well, Joe Douglas should speak this week. It's the bye week. He talks during the bye week, doesn't he?
who knows
What's he
now?
gonna say?
I
Who
mean,
knows I worked at the pleasure of the owner. Right?
it's true. The comment just
Okay.
He
That
knows
tells
he's
you
not there.
everything.
I'm sure they don't even want him talking to the media right now.
Yeah. Or maybe he
Yeah,
says, I'm not going to
6 weeks
talk to the
left, maybe
media.
he'll-
I'm a dead dog anyway. Why should I put my face on your mess?
he can
Yeah.
explain why he
I
didn't
think
keep
it's
the
only a
kicker.
matter of time before Douglas and Salah's people eventually start leaking stories about Woody Johnson's involvement
Oh,
in
yeah.
all these decisions and how they overstepped
Yeah.
and caused everything
That's
to blow up in flames. Just get ready
Exactly.
for that to come.
And then-
That's
and-
100% going to happen.
Yeah, and that's and then we have to deal with that shit.
But you know
Yeah.
what's funny is when Diana Rossini wrote those articles way back when about the dysfunctional organization, all the problems behind the scenes. Everybody's like, "You're stupid. You know what the fuck you're talking about. She's stupid. She's clickbaiting," and she was right.
Well, yeah.
Think about all the things that her and Zach Rosenblatt talked about. We're like, no, it can't be true. Rodgers has this. We have leadership. We have that. And pretty much everything they said is coming to fruition now. You're seeing all the dysfunction, disorganization, and the lack of competence.
Pretty much, and
Crazy.
that stems from the head coach who allowed it.
Yep.
That's the culture he created.
Well, no. The culture is started by the owner because the owner never had a playoff mandate. He never held these guys accountable for losing. Like the thing is, like, everybody wants stability and continuity. Like, you saw, like, keeping Brian Dable is one thing. You kind of saw a glimpse of he's a good coach. You knew early on Saleh wasn't a good coach. You could see it. You could know it.
I understand you want to blame Woody on that, and I agree with you 100%. But as a person, as a professional, you want to be known as a good coach, you still allow that culture to exist. Okay, what's that tell you about him?
No, the minute he said that he's not here to motivate players, we knew we were screwed.
Exactly.
You knew it right then.
But what are you doing there for? What are you there for? You didn't
motivate
motivate your guys. You didn't motivate your guys in San Fran.
But dude, like, there was times where, like, they had the Jaguars Thursday night game. They're playing for a playoff spot. They had a no-show performance there. The Seattle game, no-show performance there. Like, they had moments to do big things, and they fell flat on their faces where they were like walking around like zombies.
Why is it that all these guys, though, they come here with these reputations, whether it's Saleh, head coaches, GMs, quarterbacks, like, they all have these reputations, and this entire culture of losing just devours fucking everybody. It does.
And
it's wild.
What happens is you're getting guys who may be just good as a coordinator.
But not even that. I mean,
yeah.
This is. We talked about this
when
we're going back down this goddamn path again. When Saleh was hired, and you looked at the staff he hired, you're like, that's a whole lot of inexperienced coaches on one staff. Sure. First-time head coach, first-time coordinator, first-time quarterback coach. They had, unfortunately, Greg Knapp passed away. There was so much inexperience on that staff, which was ridiculous. That right there was a problem.
Yeah. Hire
which
friends.
Which is why they never should have drafted a quarterback, which is why they also can't draft one this year if you're talking about a same first-year head coach.
I hate this guy.
He hired friends. He put together his staff who had no experience.
Like, the funny thing is, it's like, as it's happening, you see the red flags. But like, no, dude, you're just a negative fan, man. You're always looking for the worst part. No, you're looking at things that we know are wrong. Like, you see the legitimate concerns that's going to blow up in your face. The same shit with Aaron Rodgers. There was a concern. If you trade for him, this is what could happen. Well, that did happen. If you talk about it, no, you're just an asshole, dude.
He should have hired someone with experience. Look what Dable did this first year. He got Wink Martindale, who had experience. He's been in the league for a long time. That was his only successful year.
Yep.
Okay. And I guess he didn't want to listen to him anymore. There was something going on, or a clash of personalities. He's gone. Now he's back in the shitter.
You know, and you know what, Bang, you're right. This team needs a drill sergeant. This has been a country club for 3 years now, walking around with no repercussions for losing, no repercussions for penalties, errors, mistakes, bad play. They benched Tony Adams now. Big goddamn deal. Yeah. Like, Michael Clemens has been a liability for a month.
How is it that Tony Adams is the one guy that they make an example of?
It just makes no sense, dude. It's so ridiculous. This team.
You can't win being the nice guy to all these guys. They come from cultures where they're disciplined, where the head coach has full control. And you have to maintain that with these young kids. It's as simple as that.
It's just a matter of respect.
Right.
It's like when Sean Payton goes in a room, you know it's his way or the highway. You're going to play it his way, or you're not going to play. Okay, that's the way it is. Solid. It's like, oh, don't worry about it, man. Back-to-back roughing the passer penalties, no big deal. You're good.
Okay, you play well, you listen, you work hard, you'll get your accolades.
You know, the worst thing is the Jets. They are so worried about the media perception and what the fans think. We literally watch guys play like shit, and then Ulbrich and Saleh meet the media and tell us they're not playing like shit. Like, you watch Kinlaw play like shit. No. He's having a great year. You watch Michael Clemens. Nope. Michael Clemens is one of our best pass rushers. Like, bro, what? Like,
do you think they really want to say that, though?
But then what? But that's the problem, Avram.
Yeah.
The players are always protected. At some point, like, you know what? You don't have to rip in the shreds. But like, you know what? He could be a little bit better. Like, he can play a little better level or a little, but don't always say everything is great. We know it's not.
I know, but is he getting that information?
That's what he says.
Is he being told to say these things?
15 times today.
Is it what?
Is he being told to say
Who
these
the fuck is telling him to do that? You got to be nice to your players. Is the mandate now from our team?
No, but on,
He's
on
on-
the press
So wait,
So wait,
conferences.
you're 3-8. Let's not hurt anybody's feelings now.
No, I don't disagree
Like, that's
with
the
you. but
problem.
this is his one audition as a head coach. If
I know.
somebody above is saying this is what you have to say, I'm not saying that if it's making me look bad. I'd rather quit and leave.
Yeah, well, they're not.
It's my
That's the
reputation
problem.
on the line. That's-
But you seem that you look at all the press conferences.
So then
with Salah
watch.
and
So
him,
then
they seem
why
to
are
be
you
the
watching
same.
then, dude? If you don't like it, then why don't you just go share your thoughts somewhere else? How about that? Don't watch. I don't give a fuck. That's the mood I'm in, dude. I don't care. Because you know what pisses me off? Sauce Gardner's comments about the tackling are a huge indictment of what this organization really is. The team missed 20 tackles. 20 tackles. They have a tackling seminar presentation. He's like, we didn't need that. You didn't need it. You need more of it. You guys haven't tackled in 4 weeks. Like, that's the exact culture of this team. It's showing exactly what's wrong. And that's from one of your leaders.
And if he had kept Salah, it would still be the same. Nothing would have changed.
No.
Nothing
They're
would have changed.
titled. They don't care. And they're going through the motions. And when
Exactly.
something goes wrong, they go like this. Not me, it's him. That's all they're doing.
And if you get a good guy in here, you get a good football operations president. He'll evaluate what you current talent, and if he makes the right moves, we can be competitive in a year.
Yeah, in 4 years.
Yeah, not even 4 years. I mean, but Bill, we can have we could change things around a lot quicker.
But prime time. But prime time is right though.
Yeah.
Like you look at the team like the Commanders or the Lions or the Texans. You don't need. There's no more 5-year plans in the NFL. It should happen within 2 years. Like your first year, you implement your system, and while you're implementing it, you're showing signs of winning. Second year, you make the run. Like that. That's it. It doesn't take. You don't. There's no more this 3-4 year plan anymore.
Yeah, you got to bring the right guys in, and you got to and basically
And have the right
good
locker
coaching.
room.
Good coaching. Good coaching fixes that locker room.
But good. Well, there's two things. There's good coaching, and that coach has got to bring in his leaders to enforce his message in the locker room.
Exactly.
Similar, like we talked about, like what Bart Scott said. We talked to Aaron Glenn in the past and Victor Green. They said when they were in the locker room with Parcells, they knew Parcells didn't have to say go in the weight room. The leaders in the locker room, they make sure you're in there. Like get your ass in there, stay on weight. Like
That's what Parcells did in '90.
Best locker rooms police
right?
themselves.
He brought his guys that he know, the winners, guys who were winners, and the culture changed.
But that's like look at the Steelers. What the Steelers doing? That's a culture. They kick six field goals to win a game. You play the Steelers. They're hard nosed. They're physical and they're well coached. You play the Ravens. You play the Bills, the Chiefs, the Chargers now with Harbaugh, the Broncos. That's all coaching. Look at the Lions. They have a legit culture. When you go to that organization, you know what's acceptable and what's not. The Jets, nobody cares.
Behind the rest of the league, we are so far behind.
We're behind because of our owner. That's the bottom line.
100%.
The it's not like we have a great owner and made a shitty decision. He's a weak owner who constantly makes shitty decisions.
Yep.
And that's what problem. It starts at the top, and we have no control over who's at the top.
I agree.
And until they come to that realization, nothing's going to change. And I hate to say it. I hate to be this doom and gloom, but until that change, that culture changes,
Yep.
nothing changes.
No, this whole culture is that that's why we keep saying you need like established guys to come in here to change this because a first-time guy can't do it because you're like, all right, this new guy is telling us to do this. Where is he on the NFL?
Yeah.
But if you had, a Sean Payton or whoever, he's won a Super Bowl. Like, all right, listen, this guy's got a resume. He knows what he's doing. He's proven it before.
The coach that's coming in has to tell him you can't make any decisions on what I do. I run this team.
100%.
You interfere. If you're going to tell me you're going to interfere, thank you for the opportunity for this interview, but I don't want to be part of this.
Well, I think it'll be quite telling to see who the interview list, who's accepting interviews. Because like last time, look at Matt Campbell never took an interview here. A lot of guys were turning down. Dan Quinn turned down an interview. A lot of guys turned down interviews here. I'm curious to see what GMs turned down the interviews. That's going to be huge. You see the all top guys like
that'll be telling.
100%.
That'll be telling.
Yep.
And then he realizes he has to pay. He has to give up everything.
Yep.
Okay.
The only way.
And you do what you want to do. You have full control. And like if he hires someone to be the football operations, say it's your team, you run it, and it's got to be someone with experience and established.
Yep.
And well respected in the league. and then at that point, you walk away and let him do his job.
That's what he should do.
Yeah.
That's it.
And
Why is
that's
that guy taking this job though? It's the only thing I wonder.
because if he has full control, then he can build it from the way he wants it.
Yeah, but the problem is the big piece for these guys is the quarterback.
And what's the trust that they're actually going to have that full control? I mean, Joe Douglas took the job assuming he was going to have full control, and then 3 years later, he didn't. So
Well,
He got
then-
Aaron Rodgers.
then you say goodbye and say, look, you didn't agree. Now it's your team. You're gonna go and you set this
Well,
team
it's gonna-
back another 10 years.
It was good. What primetime is right too, because I think once this season's finally over, the leaks are going to come out like crazy. Joe Douglas is going to leak his stories. Sal's
Yeah.
going to leak his stories, and then you're going to be like, well, then it's going to just get ugly. And then
I think Sal is holding back right now out of respect to Ulbrich and the team
until
still
the season's over.
finishing their season. You
100%.
wait. Once January comes
100%.
around, there's going to be so many stories about how this shit went down this year. Just
100%. And Rodgers going to get buried too.
Okay, all of
Rodgers,
these
Woody
all
Orr.
of these beat writers are gonna wait to wait for all of those, and then it's just going to be an explosion, and his head's going to blow up, and it's nothing he can do.
Well, because they're going to have to, because Joe Douglas wants to save his reputation. Like, listen, my hands were tied with this. I couldn't do this. I couldn't do this. Because he wants to get a job somewhere else. You got to have, there's always two sides of the story. He's going to share his side. There's no doubt about
Yeah.
that.
And I'm sure a lot of executives know
Mm-hmm.
that Woody has his hands in the pot.
Oh, well, dude,
They're not stupid.
Belichick's been burying him for a year now.
Exactly. They know. They see what's going on. They know exactly what's going on, and they see it at the owners' meetings. They see how incompetent Booby is.
Yep.
So, we could only hope for the best.
And expect the worst.
Yeah, your lighting is getting darker and darker. You're falling into this bottomless pit more.
I
and
know.
more.
It's just,
Light up.
this
Listen,
is him. No accountability here either, though. A
Okay,
fucking light
okay.
bulb.
I've embraced darkness.
just remember, you could always own a team.
Jesus Christ. Have a good night, man.
So long. Be well.
What are we doing here? My God, it's a disaster. What's up, man?
How y'all doing?
Wonderful, dude.
So yeah, first off, I just wanted to say, my username should be on the Just T-shirt because ineptitude, like that's what we are. Also my condolences to Bubs and Ian from Just Central, man, that this organization though just sucks the life out of everybody. It's crazy because when I saw the Patriots game when we won that, and I saw Ian was smiling and stuff like that, and then as soon as we started going downhill,
They'll break anybody, dude.
we don't have a structure, we don't have a culture. Where's the sense of pride in this team? Where did it go? I think it left when they decided to put the scapegoat on Mike LaFleur, and look how things is going now in LA, because they 5-5, they competing.
Yep.
And apparently, they wanted to coddle and baby Zach Wilson, and he got a better record than us.
I think that was
So
Woody
it's just,
Johnson's decision also.
I
I
think
don't
so,
think
too.
Sal ever wanted to fire LaFleur.
Nope. They wanted a scapegoat.
Yeah, I mean,
They needed one.
and then I swear, if we go into this draft and they draft another defensive, I'm done.
Pass rusher?
done with this team.
Well, you got to figure
I
Joe
hope
Douglas
he-
is going to be gone, so it won't be a pass rusher. So that'd
Well,
be a positive.
you look at the
I
direction.
mean,
the
yeah,
line's down in
but
one year.
If
They needed
like
that.
say the new GM was to trade Sauce and then we get a corner with what? No, we need first off, we need to establish a sense of pride in this team. There's no light at the end of the tunnel. I already said a train ran us already over. That was the light source because well, we gotta there's no sense of pride in this team.
There's no
You
leadership.
tackles. You missing tackles. Now, granted, I get it was Anthony Richardson. He's a big guy to tackle, but we basically handed the Colts the victory, and now they 4-6. Now they got a sense of pride in their team, and they was already in dysfunction before that because they didn't know who to choose between Joe Flacco and Anthony Richardson. That's how bad we have been. We have been so bad. The Washington Redskins, under probably the worst owner, made it to the playoffs twice. We are so bad. We was able to see the Cleveland Browns make it to the playoffs after 2 years of being 2-14, 0-16, whatever record they were.
Look at the Texans.
We
Texans
are so
have done it.
bad.
We have the longest playoff drought in all.
We are so
all four major
bad.
sports right now.
But the thing is, it's not
We
even
are
like
so
we're not even
bad.
over 500. The Jets, the high point for the Jets is winning 7 games a year, 8 games a year. That's something they celebrate. They've hit 8 wins. They're doing cartwheels down the goddamn hallway. It's ridiculous.
It is. And Woody, like, yo, you telling us fans you're gonna be in the UK and then your brother is gonna inherit the team. Family genes run in the family. If you're gonna be in the way, of course your brother might pick up on those traditions and be in the way himself. I mean, y'all keep bringing
they're
up
not. They're not football guys, man. That's the problem. They're guys that are weighing over their
They
head.
think they are though. That's the problem.
And they hired consultants to give them direction. And then if you have a good interview, like, oh, I like you, or if Peyton Manning calls, whatever happens first.
I can't do this again.
I just hate this team.
I can't just.
And I'm not even proud to be a Jets fan because we're the laughing stock of the league. You could look at the Cowboys and say that's a better team than us because the
Jets are a laughing stock again, dude.
It's just
the Jets are known for losing, and now they're finding new ways to lose. They're finding new ways to embarrass themselves. You're watching Aaron Rodgers melt down and just fall apart. So now it's like I'm the same boat you are. Like I put all my Jet shit away. I'm like, yeah, I'm good, man. It's like there's no sense wearing it. Why bother at this point? It's embarrassing. And the guy, it's embarrassing. I don't even want to talk about it. It'd be like, hey man, what about your Jets? I'm good, man. I don't even want to talk about it.
You can't wear anything because then it starts conversation.
Yep. Like, man, your team really sucks. Thanks.
It's tough because I would like to see Tyrod. I would like to see what we got in Jordan Travis. Maybe they could get Fields. Maybe they could draft somebody. But you can't even trust the coaching staff because I swear, if Chris Johnson, not even if he gets somebody that's relevant, he could get a relevant GM. If he gets a first-time head coach and we suffer through the same stuff for the next 4 to 5 years,
you can't do it first-time head
that'll
coach,
literally let every fan know. And this is what I want season ticket holders to do. No more shit bags, no more none of that. I want y'all to go in that stadium and I want y'all to say Woody Johnson, Chris Johnson, sell the team. Just say it every single time.
Don't go to games anymore. That's the answer. Stop going to games. It's funny seeing people on X. Oh man, fuck this team. See you guys on Sunday. You're still going to games, dude. You're still going to the games. So you're part of the problem as well. It's just
it's just tough, but yeah, have a good day. I'm about to take the Jets out to the street. It's garbage day, so
have a good night, man.
You as well.
Good callers tonight, man.
This team is just
look at we have another celebrity joining us. This guy, you know why? Because Rutgers is doing well now. That's why. I know he's got it. He's got a narrative here. I know how you roll, dude. Rutgers is relevant, and you start calling back in.
Oh no, that's not it. It's just bad timing. Sometimes,
bad timing.
No, I've been in the live stream chats. You guys see me raging, venting the whole time.
So, are you coming on with a plan to fix the Jets?
No. I mean, how can you fix this? I mean, Mike, that's my problem right now. I've come on with a lot of weeks missed worth of just things I need to get off my chest. From players to coaching, ownership, his team is it's a complete joke. And I think some of the worst parts about it is how we find ways to argue amongst ourselves about things that I think just don't matter. Like right now, where we have a lot of fans out there and media talking about the whole since Salah's fire discussion. Even with Salah, this team is at best maybe like 4 wins, 5 wins, maybe. We look really, really shit. Like even like talking about the defense, right? I mean, we let the Niners with no Jordan and with Jordan Mason, no CMC, and Trent Williams, who hadn't practiced basically all summer because he came back because his teammate got shot like a few days before. They came in and ran all over us right up the middle, play after play after play after play. And you know what still is our problem this season? Teams are running up the middle on us, play after play after play after play. Our team, our coaching staff has no clue, right? When it comes to coaching staff, and you talk about culture, right? I get that Woody is where the culture starts, but it's not as if we can't have a culture with a bad owner. Look at the Knicks. The Knicks' fans are out there
True.
in full effect talking about Dolan's the worst owner in the NBA, and he still might be, but they found one person to hell no.
But Dolan also finally came to the realization that he needed to stay the hell out of the way.
I mean, that's what Chris Johnson tried. He just didn't get the right people.
But they'll stay away for 2 years, and then when they sense the fans are outraged or whatever, they're not getting the results they want. Then they panic and they make whatever they feel is the right
I
thing.
agree.
And
But I think if Dolan
over the last 2 years have blown up in their face already.
Yeah, but on the Knicks, right? If Rose and Tibbs weren't doing as well as they have been doing, would you be surprised if Dolan was in there doing that and going in there and making a bunch of things happen? My thing is this, right? When you look at the coaching staff of this team, over the past 2 years, we have the same problems the whole time. The coaching staff came in and they never take accountability. The players get to do and basically say whatever they want, and nothing happens, right? You saw it with, for example, with Zach Wilson at first, right? And it's just trickled down to all of our players, and that's why for me, at the moment, I wouldn't get rid of like for example guys like Sauce. I would let the new coach handle it and get someone who actually has like a discipline thing, right? For example, my brother, big Giants fan, so I've heard and ended up watching a lot of Giants documentaries and all this stuff. Right, and you look at the Giants ownership, right? When Marantich took over, Coughlin's the head coach. Coughlin's a big disciplined guy, right? We know Michael Strahan, who's like the biggest leader in the Giants. He basically said he really didn't like Coughlin that much. But what happened, right? Because Coughlin's a big disciplinarian guy, he bought in. Coughlin's like, if we have a team meeting, if you're not 10, 15 minutes early, you're late. Doors is closed, you're getting fined, and that's a problem. And you know what happened? Everyone showed up. Everyone got on board. Right now, since basically Coughlin's left, the Giants coaches have not a single one of them has had put together a good culture in there, and they've been on the decline really.
But you know what also helps though is winning too, though.
I mean,
if you have that culture and you win games, everybody buys in more. If you try to implement a culture and you start losing, nobody's going to buy into it.
Before the Super Bowl, they weren't really winning though.
But I'm saying that you got to see legitimate progress where you're like, all right, I can see this blueprint, I can see this plan. Like, all right, this has a chance, something you can believe in. I think the Jets as a team knew that Hackett wasn't good. They knew Keith Carter wasn't good. They knew Downing wasn't good. And like you're like, oh, we're bringing him back again. Like we're gonna bring him back for another year. That's like, you know what? This is some bull. You know, like they know a tainted plan.
Yeah. So on coaches, just one like a little small thing I want to say. The DB coach, was it Manuel, right? He's been, we give him praise the last few seasons. I really question sometimes when I watch like Sauce, I think it's like a Sauce issue, but then I watch our other DBs and they all do the same things. So I'm wondering, is this a coaching issue? Is this like just our staff just telling our DBs, don't look for literally, I've never seen a team full of defensive backs that never, ever, not a single one of them outside of like Eccles would turn their head around and to find the ball. Like if not one of them, Reed, Sauce, not the safeties, nobody. Every time they're in coverage, they just run along the guy just following them the whole time, and then they just never do anything.
But to your point, Brian Baldner does a spot on WFAN every week. When he comes on, he answers questions, like legitimate Jets questions, and he broke down the technique for Sauce. It's terrible. He's like, he's not using his feet, he's not using his legs, he's not using, like, he broke it down. He's like, this is not the player. Like, he's like, this is just really poor technique that needs to be worked on, and it's not improving any week. So who's coaching him up? Who's telling him that? That's the problem.
I disagree but on the thing that I'm saying is that's why I think like I'm looking at the DB coach as well, because where we've looked at, for example, every offseason, I guess Sauce, Gardner, if we want to call him that now, he's talked about what I need to improve on is getting interceptions. And it seems like every year he's gone further away from anything that actually produce interceptions.
Yep.
Like we literally, unless the strategy is just.
But who's holding him accountable though? That's the question.
No one.
Like you said, like you blame the DB coach, which is fine, right?
I'm not just him specifically. I'm looking at everything.
But I'm saying, but you're saying just big picture. All right, say the DB coach isn't doing what he's supposed to do. What is Ulbrich doing as defensive coordinator? Wouldn't he see it too? Like they watch the game tape together. They watch film together. Doesn't somebody see it else? Like, hey, you know what? Work on this and improve this because it's not where it's supposed to be.
My
that in the building.
My little brain theory is that this is all coming to the defensive line, because every year one of the biggest lines of continuity we see is just delusion about the state of our defensive line. So if the defense, if Saleh and Ulbrich are coming to the DB coach saying, look, we don't need you to be doing all this extra stuff, just cover for about 3 seconds and we'll get pressure, because I swear that's what they think is happening, because we keep dropping back. We don't blitz not nearly enough.
Not
Like
nearly
we
enough.
have great man corners, and instead of just manning them up and bringing pressure and stuff, we keep dropping like 7 into the softest zone you'll ever see, with holes everywhere across the field, and just rushing 4 with Quinnen Williams, along with like sometimes 2 or 3 of the shittest pass rushers you've ever seen in your life, and you expect them to get pressure on the quarterback.
It's true.
And then by the whole time, like sometimes like when Sauce gets beat, or it's like when you're comparing it to his rookie year, he's playing the coverages the same way, right? But we don't have any pressure anymore. We're not getting sacks. So you're expecting him to just I'm just running after the guy the whole time and I sound like I'm defending him. I'm not. I've been you've seen me in the chat. I've been bashing him in the chat.
I'm with you.
Like, so, but it's just everything with the team. It's the same game plan every time. Nothing shifts.
It's a vanilla defense. That's the problem. It's a vanilla defense. There's no like, exotic wrinkles. They don't get sacks. They don't get takeaways. They've got what, 2 interceptions all year?
Yeah, and they're both Eccles. And they're both Eccles. And like literally, no one even makes plays on the ball. And it's like, if you just turn your head around, even if once or twice you get beat, because you lose your man and the quarterback wasn't throwing it, we would have had so many more chances of just at least back downs, interceptions, anything. And it's like we never. I can't remember a play this season really outside of being in zone where in man Sauce and Reed made a good play on the football. Neither of them. And I know they're good corners, but neither of them ever. Like,
and the safeties are always out of position too.
They're just running and they just kind of like do this or just pushing the guy. So on that on the defense on that, it's just like our coaching staff for the last few years has just there's no accountability to the players, and there's clearly no accountability to the coaching staff itself because we've not shifted anything. And they look at their ideal system and they see themselves as like it's like when you see an offensive minded coach whose system is clearly lost, it's failing. You need to spice it up. I mean, maybe Aaron Rodgers' philosophy right now, where it's like he doesn't like to use motion because he likes to sit in shotgun so he can stand back and read the whole field, and that way you can see what the defense is. But at the same time, at this point in your career, everyone knows you're just doing 5-yard hitches. So what's the point, right? It's like that, but on the defense, we haven't shifted anything at all. Exactly. I agree with the bad habits, and we don't I won't say punish is the right word, but we don't stamp out these little problems in the from the beginning. Like back, usually you'd hear about it like all the time 10, 15 years ago. Rookies come in, teams give them media training. They tell them what to say, what not to say. And basically you just drill this into their head. If you didn't play great, or even if you played good, you know what you say? It's on me. I got to play better. Simple thing. You don't see that in the NFL anymore. And the teams that you do see it on, it's not the teams like us.
Well, it's the winning organizations do that. The teams that have prominent leaders, prominent like coaches, where the coach like Mike Tomlin gives you a message. Like Mike Tomlin calls everybody out. Like he'll just say calls like it is. We played like shit. This is unacceptable. Like when was the last time a Jets coach said something's unacceptable? I don't think ever.
I agree. Even on the good
couldn't
teams,
even explain why he benched Tony Adams today. Like that would have been a perfect example right there.
Even on the good teams,
call him out.
When you did see that, it would be with star players. We have Malachi Corley, who hadn't played in about 4 weeks, come down, fumble the ball, going to the end zone, and he's gonna be like, "Man, I don't care. I've scored like so many touchdowns in my career, hundreds or whatever. I'm fine." How is this a thing? Like,
dude, his reaction to that blew my mind. Absolutely blew my mind when he said that. I was like, "You've got to be kidding me."
Looking at the team going forward for me, Rodgers, I hope he retires. I hope he's gone. I would just really just tell the new GM, new coach. I'm really fingers crossed. I need Trump to send Woody away instantly, and I hope, like someone that commented earlier, that Chris has eaten his humble pie, and I hope he's still eating that thing. So he comes in and just picks the right person, hopefully, and tells them, you have the next 4 or 5 years. This next year is not going to be held against you right now. It's an evaluation year, right? And you tell them you do what you want, right? You evaluate these guys. I think we should probably pay Garrett soon. Really, I mean, new coaches, new GMs will want to wait to see or whatever. But
let these guys prove something first.
I'm just saying, if you were to pay him now versus, I think Garrett to me has shown like just how good of a wide receiver he is, right? And he's the kind of guy you want to have around, because while a lot of guys have been annoying, Garrett could have gone full scorched earth on this many, many times, and he has bit his tongue. And you saw him doing it with Zach a little bit when a few years ago. He has matured from that. He has not said anything that you would come out and be like, this guy's divisive. This guy is like about me. And you know somewhere down there he's feeling that.
Yep.
But he has said all the right things. I would pay Garrett now because why? Because I think what he's shown us, he's going to get paid in a year or two. And if you don't pay him,
you still got to let the next regime make that call, though.
I know. I'm talking about the new regime looking at them. Yeah. I'm not talking about Douglas doing that. I'm saying I would hope they do that about Garrett at least, right? Quarterback. I like Tyrod. I would get another option just because Tyrod's always injured. And I think knowing the Jets, he'll come in, start, get injured by week 2, and then we'll hate Jordan Travis by week 5. So
you know us too well.
I mean, come on. I like Tyrod. He's a good guy. He has the worst injury luck ever. I mean, punctured lung by his own team. Like that's insane.
You bring in another veteran guy, young veteran guy, Justin Fields, somebody else, and let them all battle it out, and put together a competent team, a quality defense, run the ball. You need to get something rolling. You got to move forward with something.
We need someone who can galvanize a head coach who can actually not just be a rah guy, but also know their X and O's. So, I mean, we got the rah guy who seemingly didn't do anything with the X and O's with this team, and also didn't bring the rah. I need a complete flip of that.
You need a legitimate guy that's already done it, not some pretend guy. I agree. Doing TikTok quotes.
Like the young guy is always appealing, but I don't know if I can deal with just another shit show. I don't think the young guys gonna want to come here unless we somehow get one of the top few picks, which is possible. But knowing us, we're gonna lose to Mac Jones and then beat the Dolphins or some bullshit, and then just completely spoil everything right at the end. I can already see it.
Number 12.
Good talking to you, man.
Nice talking to you guys.
You feel better? Is it off your chest now? You feel like you could release a little bit now?
Still seems a little tense.
Oh, a little bit. I mean, Rutgers basketball is improving that, but in a year when those two guys go to the NBA, we're going to be ass again. So
you got to enjoy the moment, man. You can't look. You just enjoy the present.
Live in the moment.
Have a good night, man.
All right, you too.
Good seeing you. All right, we got our friend from Germany. What's up, man?
You're muted.
You're muted. Come on, man. Hit the mute button. Your mic is there. You go.
What up?
How you doing, man?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Now you're good.
Nice to have me on.
What time is it, man? It's like 3:00 in the morning there.
It's actually 3:30.
What are you doing up right now?
I had like a meeting late and went to a bar and then thought like, fuck it, just call in.
Fuck, I'll have a couple beers and talk to Jets at 3:00 in the morning.
Of course, beer is always there.
This should be good.
So are you to give us your plan to save the Jets?
It's pretty easy. Like, burn the whole organization down would be an option. But I mean, I thought about it and I compared it to like German teams, professional teams. You're way too soft on your teams in the US because like you're getting perched down the parking lot when you're playing shit like that in Germany. So like,
who do you want to hire? Who's the coach you want?
I have no idea. I mean,
you're supposed to call in with answers, man.
I mean, in my opinion, there are no answers because, of course, you can hit or miss with a coach, and of course, I'd taken an experienced guy over like a rookie head coach, but you never know how it's gonna end up because
most of the time we do know how it's gonna end up.
Yeah, we have pretty good feel for it.
I mean,
do you want Rodgers back next year?
Of course not.
Okay, good. Let's make a progress. All right, so we're finding out your plan right now.
Are you drafting a quarterback in the first round?
I wouldn't draft a quarterback in the first round either because as I haven't looked deep into the next year's draft class, but I think there are not that many on top, and you won't have a top pick, so it's going to be way too expensive.
It'll be in no man's land.
And
great sauce.
And the other thing is, you don't need like the the top QB. You just need a team which is working, because I mean, if Joe Flacco and Andy Dalton can get wins with like worse teams than we are, or we should be,
It's true.
so you probably should get a quarterback who can at least like bring that team to the playoffs.
Well, you at least have a quality, like high-level game manager. It's all you really need. I mean, look what teams are doing now. You don't need the high-flying offense. I mean, it helps, but you don't need it to win.
I mean, other teams are showing you, like Russell Wilson was cooked before the season.
Yep, look at him now.
Justin Fields as well, and the Steelers are at what, like 9-2, 8-2? I don't know.
They're rolling.
Something somewhere in that range.
It's coaching, and don't beat yourself.
Yeah, and I think like with the talent on a team, which should be there when you look at like where the players got drafted and where they used to play, at what level they used to play, there should be enough to just have a game plan to win winnable games. And like there were a lot of winnable games.
Well, the Jets got to learn how to win. They need to have a winning culture. They need to learn how to win games. They need how to handle adversity. A lot of things got to learn.
Exactly, and that's pretty much all. And if you like have that, then you can think about getting your franchise QB, getting like everything set around. But unless you don't have that, nothing's gonna change. I mean,
you need a program.
When we had Sam Darnold, we said we're one QB away, and we also had Sam Darnold is the one guy. And Sam Darnold probably was the guy, but not on our team. So we tried it again with Zach Wilson, with like different other QBs playing. And then Zach Wilson was not the guy. And we said, like, all right, so we get the Hall of Fame QB, and then our problems are solved, and they're still not. So it's not the QB. The coaches haven't been the problem, because Todd Bowles is playing solid to good football in Tampa right now.
Yeah, but I mean, the coaching right now is a huge problem for the Jets, because they're completely
right now. Yes, but all the coaches you had in here.
I mean, Todd Bowles should have been fired too, though. It's just he wasn't good with it.
What does that say though? Bowles sucked here. He goes somewhere else. He's doing okay.
He learned.
Geno sucked here. He goes somewhere else. He's doing okay. Sam Darnold sucked here. He goes somewhere else doing okay.
Coaching.
Well, yeah, it's more than just coaching. It's just like the whole fucking franchise.
The whole thing's
true. I mean, you can bring in like anybody you want. You can bring the best coaches.
Well, I mean,
have an all-star team in here, and you probably will still find a way to lose.
I agree, but I think we thought Aaron Rodgers would be a lot better than he was. That's the problem. And like the injury doesn't help anything, but as a leader and everything else, he wasn't. The rumors about him in Green Bay actually came true here, which is unfortunate.
Yeah, I mean, I can see that we trade for Darnold next season. I mean,
Jesus Christ.
I can see that. I know. I mean,
Primetime be happy. He break his jersey right back out.
Our owner will tell us, bring the guy home.
No.
Why would he want to come back here after the way they did him?
He probably won't. But I can see the Vikings franchise tag him just to trade him for like 2 or 3 first-round picks after that year, because they have their future QB in JJ McCarthy.
Dude, if Sam Darnold leads them to the playoffs and they win a game or something like that, you're gonna have to bring him back and let JJ McCarthy just keep learning. Well, first of all, he's got to get healthy and keep learning. You give Sam like a 2-year deal or something. I'm not gonna let him walk.
But at what cost? I mean, he's looking for prime QB1.
You're gonna be a tough spot if the team buys into your quarterback and they're winning games to go to playoffs. I'm like, yeah, we don't need him. You're gonna lose your locker room, man. That's a tough spot right there.
It is, but as I said, I could see our owner trying to do that, just for, I don't know. Okay. He would make another film series out of that.
Well, if you want, there's the Aaron Rodgers Netflix special coming out. Was it next month, right?
No.
So
that's gonna be great.
That's a reason to quit on Netflix.
Thanks for calling, man. We appreciate it. Get some sleep.
Take care.
Good
talking
seeing
to
you.
man.
Friggin' 3:45 in the morning. What's up, man?
This weekend. I didn't put much expectation on the game, and I'm glad I didn't because
I did.
And honestly, I apologize. I actually walked out on the live stream. I missed the third quarter. I was out blowing leaves because it was more important. But I came back for the fourth quarter and, saw the debacle, saw him lose. And I said, what else is new? Thinking about this whole thing, one comment, Todd Bowles isn't doing that well. The Buccaneers are 4-6. So,
well, they were doing well. They got ravaged with injuries too. They lost all the receivers.
I know, but Bowles, he's okay, but he's not exactly. No one's comparing him to Andy Reid either.
Hey man, I'd take him over fucking these clowns we have right now.
Except up here, he would be like he was last time. No personality, no accountability. No, he was the same way. He wasn't very good for that either. Looking at this, I think what the bad part is, I think the Jets are going to try that. Woody is going to try to have it go around again with Rodgers because I think he thinks it's a marketing thing. Tyson, I don't want it. Believe me.
But
I agree with everybody.
What exactly is he marketing? Everybody's already bought the jersey. Everybody,
he's going to
believes in him.
I'm going to tell you what he's going to do.
What fucking headlines are? They're not going to be positive. Everybody thinks he's washed.
Yeah, but he's going to turn.
It's a story every week.
He's going to turn around and say, that Rodgers wasn't completely healed from the Achilles. We had bad coaching, the usual excuses. You know that. I mean, I'm not trying to say I want this. Believe me, I don't. And then he's going to sell it as being Rodgers 3.0. This is the year because we'll have everything right. And then what they're also going to do is they're also going to say either because of Jordan Travis or they draft some kid, they're going to say he's going to sit. And then that's also the bridge for the future. That's my guess. Like I said,
the one thing that I think you could be onto is Rodgers is now saying, I'm finally healthy. Like he said it yesterday in his press conference, like, I'm finally feeling better. I'm finally healthy. Kind of saying, like, you know what? I'm playing like shit because I've been hurt, which nobody believes that. But dude, you cannot bring him back. I don't want him as a bridge.
I agree.
Shouldn't whoever you hire to be your next GM, president of football operations, head coach, whatever your prominent hire is, shouldn't those people be making the decision about whether Aaron Rodgers comes
in a
back
real
next year or
team?
not?
In a real team, very much so. And I agree with you. And I think the problem I've got is, and some of the things I keep hearing are Woody's going overseas, so he's not going to be involved. You know what, guys? This isn't the 6th century when, it took 6 months to get a letter from England to here.
No, but what you can do is he's a part of the process. He gets it all figured out, and then he leaves. He gets the people in place that he wants to hire.
He can still be involved. The problem I'm trying to say is he can still be involved, right?
Yep.
So if something does go, Chris is running things, I don't even know if he'll let him run it. He'll just give him a figurehead and let him do it. The point is it's still Woody, right?
Yep.
So the key question is going to be, and I don't have an answer for it. Nobody does. Who's he going to hire? And what really worries me, think about it. I'm hoping they're thinking about it and working on it. But Woody, if he is going to be going overseas or whatever, that's in February. So he doesn't have a lot of time. And we don't even know anything about who he's, as you point out, who he's relying on.
Yeah, but not to cut you off, but he has the work should be done now. Like you're creating
I agree.
Like it's right now, like it's fucking November 18th. You should have your short list now, the coaches that you want. And the coaches, like right now, you can talk to Gruden, you can talk to Rex, find out what they think, what they want. If you don't want them, okay, move them off your list. You can narrow out candidates now that aren't employed by teams.
I mean, hopefully they're doing that. Well, the problem I've got is Woody is still they're desperately still trying to bail this season, which is bullshit. You know it and I know it. At 3-8, come on, guys. They're not going to do it. But he's still hyping that in his head. He probably still thinks it. So who the hell knows, right? So he's going to pick the staff. Who's he going to pick? Who's he relying on? We don't know. The one thing I'm pretty certain of, I think it is going to be another first time because Woody wants somebody that he can manipulate.
But that's the problem.
And that's the problem.
That's why it's not
and, you mentioned Louis Riddick. Louis Riddick would actually be a pretty good candidate. A lot of people don't like him. He's pretty blunt.
I like
I like some of his things he said about personnel. I think he's got the right idea. My one downside on Louis Riddick, he's a big promoter of Eric Bieniemy, and that's one guy you don't want on the Jets. Yep. He's not a culture changer. He doesn't have the strength.
But even the one thing I like about him, or even like a Gruden, is that big personality is exactly what they need. They need hard-ass people that are bold and brash. Because
if he hired Riddick, that would make me think like, wow, because I don't think he'll take Woody's shit.
That's what I'm saying. You need big personalities.
He's got the personality. The
Yep.
same way with the coaches, the same way with the Gruden. Now, Gruden would be an interesting one because would Gruden come in and again, I'm doubtful that he's going to come into the league for a lot of reasons. He's pissed off too many people, and the league's going to be the league. The
Someone's
league
gonna
is
hire
not
him.
going to want him in there.
Dude, the league will be like, drop your lawsuit, you're back in. Done.
Yeah, possibly. But I mean, again, with Gruden, is he going to want full control? And if he says, I want full control, you know damn well Woody and none of them are going to give it to him. So there's a problem.
But that's
I'm
the kind of guy
hoping-
you got to make the exception for. They blew it last year with Harbaugh. They blew it 2 years ago with Sean Payton. Like, that's the kind of guy you need to.
You know what the problem is, though? Does he even see that as blowing it? That's the point. It should be, because you can see the results. Look at Harbaugh out there. It's like unbelievable. You know,
But
a
it was
team
so
that was.
obvious, though. It was so obvious they were the right coaches to rebuild your organization with. It's
But
so
again,
obvious.
it comes down to the attitude. And the other thing with Woody is that when I get back to what I said about Rodgers next year and stuff is Woody, everybody has this thing that thinks he wants to win. I'm sure he does. I'm sure he's got a bit of an ego he wants to, but he sees this, it's a hobby, but it's also like how much money I can make out of it.
Yep.
That's his big deal. And I've seen this before with people, people where their measure in life is each year if they make more money the next year.
Yeah,
And
the
that's
bottom
a
line.
big deal in life. Right.
But I think this is the first year where he's going to feel it in his pocket a little bit because a lot of season ticket holders are actually canceling.
I'm
their tickets.
hoping, but the other thing, and of course, this is the other problem in the NFL. I worked it out. Each NFL team, it's close to $400 million from TV revenue shared on all the
They
teams.
make all the money from that. Yep.
And the only way he gets hurt now, he can get hurt with that. My brother's a long time. He knows the networks. He knows how they operate and stuff. The HGTV practically not invented it, but he was one of the key people. And he's been in broadcast for a long time. And he said one of the things that they will do is if the ratings of the local games go into the shitter, that they're going to start putting pressure on the team.
Well, they've been going to the shitter the last 3 years. The Jets have been irrelevant the last 3 years.
That's the thing. I mean, if there's enough, because these contracts are so goddamn expensive, and even if you say, well, it's one game out of, X number each week, they're still they can put pressure on, and that could potentially happen. I know the NFL also goes after owners if ticket sales are down.
Well, they're going to be down this year. But this is the first year that's actually happened because the last 2
Again,
years.
this is where the Johnson thing comes in, though. And I agree with you, Tyson. But in Woody's mind, you got to understand something. I don't know how much of a mind he's got because he can convince himself that once again he'll get people, to buy tickets because they're going to sell the return of Aaron Rodgers. I hope not. I hope I'm
There's
wrong.
nothing left to sell anybody.
I mean, just to give you guys a couple of laughs, and this is not scientific. It's not anything else. For the hell of it, I pulled a tarot card thing on this thing just to see, right? And the tarot card thing, basically, the two cards I pulled, one was asking, are they going to be making any changes? Or are they going to roll it back? And the cards that came up basically said that they were going to stay with what they roll back to what we have now. And the other one showed basically chaos. I mean, of course, with the Jets, that's not a hard one. That would come up all the time. I'm really hoping my take on it is that they do fire. You're right, that Woody finally realizes he's got to hire a football guy, and especially with his idiot brother running things, he can't trust it because this will be, even
He's got to have a group of people around him that says, listen, this is a mess now. The only way out of it is you got to have football guys making football decisions. Like you've got to remove it.
I mean, hopefully he's talking to other people. Hopefully
the
league's talking to him or whatever. But again, we haven't heard anything. And what worries me is he doing it right now? Because he should be. He needs to get this. He should have this all wrapped up. I mean, honestly, you asked about Joe Douglas and firing him. The one thing I could say is if he knew anybody, that if he's made a decision, fire Joe Douglas, put the person in place. He's not going to do anything for this year, but it gives him a chance to look at the personnel, evaluate what's out there, gives him months. Exactly. And then the end of the season, he can start saying, okay, I'm going to keep X, Y, Z.
Exactly.
And I've been seeing all these things. There might be coaches available at the end of the year, although I don't think Shanahan's not going to get fired.
Amen.
He's too good.
I'm rooting for the 49ers to tank now.
San Francisco's not. San Francisco.
The 49er fans hate him right now. I'm like, dude, I'm here for you.
They're idiots. The San Francisco fans are idiots. And the ownership and the GM there aren't that stupid because this has been a winning franchise. This guy has won. He took a guy out of Hicksville State and turned him into a good quarterback or made him into a successful quarterback with Purdy. He's had all these injuries.
Yep.
They're not going to fire him. I would take Shanahan in a second. Hell, I take his father, and I wasn't even that big a fan of him if he wanted to come out of retirement, if he's not like 90 years old. But I mean, again, I think Shanahan would be great, but they do need an experienced one. Gruden's not bad, Vrabel. I just worry too. Well, Gruden, if Gruden comes back in the league, you may even see something like the Raiders take him back, because you think about it, they're not doing, they're not doing great.
He loved it there.
Or another team,
Well, that's the thing, is if he's going to come back and has the ability to do that, he's going to probably say, I want my quarterback. What team has a quarterback he wants to work with? And it could be Aaron Rodgers, I'll tell you that much, or Tyrod Taylor.
No, he knows him. He'd like to have a young quarterback to work with. He'd like to have somebody. I don't know if Travis is it. Travis is a kind of, I mean, I think he's more a running back than he is a quarterback personally, but that's goes without saying. I don't think there's that much in this draft that excites my, interest.
I can't even talk draft in November. Thanks for calling in, man. We appreciate it.
Anytime.
Have a good night.
Night.
All right, it's prime time. There's only one way to end the show like this. I mean, this is where we're at, right? This is what we're dealing with.
Yep.
Hey, fellas!
Jesus Christ.
Fuck you, PT. Fuck you.
What did I do?
Was he mad at you for?
What did I do?
What happened? He came on to yell at you?
What?
Why is he mad at you?
What did I do?
My God, I'm just trying to protect people right here. Why he comes on cursing at you?
Cursed me out and then he just hopped off.
Well, I turned him off. I don't want you insulting my host. No,
You can insult me. I don't mind.
No, we're not about getting the host yelled at. Like, what the fuck are we doing here? This is look. You can't come on and insult you, man. That's not
No, I
cool.
don't mind.
No, we're about positivity here. We got no problems around here. Thank you guys for joining us. We'll talk to you next week. Oh my God.